Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Allegedly, Donald Trump, your president, is mad. Now, what has set our beloved president off this time? Well, looks like his wife spoke out of turn. He can't control his wife. Yeah. Um, anyway, fam, Melania had a big old speech at the White House today, and she spoke to the point of distancing herself from Epstein. Well, she tried to distance herself from Epstein. Um, and it really didn't go too well. I'll play the video in a moment, but first of all, I want you to hear what Trump had to say to someone. Uh, Jacqueline Alamani, she said, just got off a phone call with President Donald Trump, who said he didn't know anything about Floda's statement prior to her on-camera appearance, but that he was in a meeting about the war and couldn't speak further. She didn't know him, he added before hanging up, referring to Epstein. The First Lady is speaking at the White House and the president don't know anything about it? Control your woman, man. Damn. Anyway, fam, but check out what Flotus had to say for herself. Y'all tell me if she did a good job, if she's convincing.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell.
Okay, fam, I can't take it no more. I tried to get through it. But I can't take it no more. I'll play the rest of the video. But first, I want to provide some receipts. She says she never hung out with Epstein. She wasn't friends with him. They just happened to be in overlapping circles, right? Well, boom, boom, there you go. Watch this. Pow, 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 pow. Isn't that Melania, the First Lady? You know, like standing right next to Epstein, taking a picture? And what about this? This is Melania and Ghislaine Maxwell and some young girls in the Epstein files. Yeah. Now check out that. Check out that one. There's Melania and Trump and Ghislaine again. Yeah, what about this one? That's Melania with Prince Andrew and Gwendolyn Beck. Yeah, and Jeffrey Epstein at a Mar-a-Lago party club. At the Mar-a-Lago party club. Say, fam, come on now. Come on, fam. Born that night, but not last night. There's a close-up of Melania and her friend Jeffrey Epstein. And that's Melania sending a message to Ghislaine. She just called her G. She's just gonna call her G, and she don't know her, and they're just in overlapping circles. Why is she writing to her if she's not friends or they're not associates? They just happen to come across each other in overlapping circles. Man, all right, fam. All right. I just wanted to show y'all that right quick. I got something else to show y'all, but I'll let you finish watching much more.
Email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies, which I reject their mean-spirited. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless.
Did she say good name? My good name?
Lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
for Secretary Lutnick to continue serving?
Of course, she got the hell up out of there. Drop the bomb and take off. First of all, who thought this was a good idea? Who thought this was a good idea? Horrible PR, man. Bad move. Stay quiet. Get out the way. All you did was opened up a can of worms. She says she never met the guy. Who amongst us takes dozens and dozens of pictures with people that they don't know? Who? None of us does that. And she don't do it either. Yeah, man, this is wild. Who thought this was a good idea is what I'm aiming to find out. This guy says she has never met Epstein. And she's all over Epstein and pictures and pictures and pictures. I'll tell you this much, fam. She starts talking about how people had to apologize. They were forced to apologize. They were forced to apologize by your husband, who weaponizes the DOJ to go after people, who says bad things about him, DOJ and other government entities, who says bad things about him or things that he doesn't like. So just because they apologize does not mean that they were wrong. You dig? You know what I think? I think something big is coming. I think something big is coming because this came out of nowhere, right? And, you know, Trump had been trying to use the war as a distraction for Epstein files, right? Now it's like she's using the Epstein's files to distract from the war. Something ain't right, man. Something just ain't right. Who's that? Keith Sweat. Yeah, that's Keith Sweat. Hey, something just ain't right, man. This is strange behavior. This came out of nowhere. No one saw this coming. This was on none of our bingo cards. She just came out of nowhere and started talking. And Trump claimed that he didn't know that she was making the speech, which I'm sure he didn't. But then when he was asked about it again, he realized, look, that's something I should have known. I should have known about that. And so to save face, to make it seem like he was in control, he got to say, well, yeah, I knew about it. But then again, there is a chance that perhaps he didn't because of his dementia. He probably knew about it, but he forgot. He probably knew all the way up to 5 minutes before she actually did the press conference. He probably knew. She was like, okay, Donnie, I'm about to go out and do the press conference. And then, you know, Donnie started eating some Kentucky Fried Chicken and some pizza and some Cheetos, drinking some of that Diet Coca-Cola. And he just had a little warp there, and it just went away. And he started getting on the phone. The phone rang, and he picked it up. And it was Putin. And Putin was like, what's up, babe? What's up? What's happening? You know, something like that, right? So that kind of threw him off because now he all, you know, got butterflies. So he probably threw him off. So when that threw him off, now while he on the phone talking to Putin, Melania is talking to the country. Yeah, I bet you that's how it went. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Oh, before I go, check this out. That's Melania Trump's rating per CNN. See, she had a plus 30 rating in May of 2018. That's Trump's first term. In his second term, she only had a plus 3. Now she's down to a negative 12. And what she's trying to do is damage control. She's trying to get her ratings back up. That's what that was about. If she really wanted to try to get her ratings up, if she was serious about getting her ratings up, she would have answered some of those questions and answered those questions honestly. But if she really want to get her ratings up, she would leave Donald Trump. No more talk.